In this video, we're going to be going and showing you how to make French cleats for all of your cabinetry needs in your shop. And this process is the same regardless of whether or not you're using secondhand cabinets like we got from our local Stardust that we have here in the valley, or whether or not you need to set up like a plane holder or whatever it is you're into. So the point is that it works for just about everything that you want to hang on the wall at least. And it's easy to remove if you ever need to in the future and put something else up in its place. So as we all know, we advance our shops all the time, right? So anyway, we're going to be going over that. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification icon for all of our newest videos. In the meantime, let's get to the build. All right, so let's go ahead and get to building our cleats. So one of the things we want to do here, since we actually have two cabinets, these are two separate cabinets, is we want to make sure that we got enough cutoffs and stuff like that. Like this is actually just something from actually one of our other projects on the channel where we made a bathroom cabinet. And we got a bunch of this 3/4 inch plywood sitting around. So we're going to be taking one of the cutoffs from that, and we're actually going to be going and making that as one long French cleat for the back. This will give it a little bit extra rigidity along the wall. We're going to be putting it actually right up here on this specific wall. So it's actually going to be attached inside, and we'll show you how we're actually going to go off and pull off that effect and everything. It's actually pretty cool. So anyway, when you're getting down to this point where you're ready to go and kind of figure out your general sizing, remember, you don't have to be perfect on this. It just has to be okay. It has to be less than what the width of the cabinets are. So when you're getting down to this point, you just want to kind of level off your board at the end of one side. Try to get these about as square as possible to each other, and then just simply strike a line. And I'd probably do that a few times just to make sure you had a good line on there. And now you know how big your cut is. I'm just going to double check that real quick because apparently there was another line on here. All right, there we go. So now we know our cutoff side is over here, so we'll do the little cutoff mark and the voila. There we go. So now we know what our length is. So now all we have to do is just trim this down on the table saw, and then we'll have the first part of our French cleat ready to go. So we'll go ahead and do that next. Okay, so we went and got our board all lined up here on our sled. So I'm just going to go ahead and raise up our blade and get this cut out really quick. This is a fast project for the most part. Okay, so we got our first one laid out and good to go. As you can see, this is just general construction work, so we don't need to do a lot of measuring. We don't have to do a lot of thinking to make a French cleat. We just need to kind of cut it and move along, kind of a thing. So that's exactly what we're doing. So we got this one done. So now the next thing we need to do is come over here, and then we're just going to figure out exactly how big this cleat needs to be. Now, the nice thing about this is the board is a little bit shorter, but it's almost perfectly on par for the back of this. So a great board to pick. We're just going to set up the fence in this case and just cut down to this size. So this way we have matching sizes on it. Why? Because, well, make it look nice, I guess, in case somebody ever decides to look behind it. Who knows? People are weird. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And then we will move on to putting the 45 on it. Now, the 45, and I'll talk about this later, the 45 can either be done on a router table or you can do the 45 on your table saw. Since my router table is generally easier, we're probably going to do it on that, but we'll see how I feel here in a minute. In the meantime, let's get over to that part. Okay, so if you want to measure this up, and again, no measuring tools, right? All you gotta do is just lay your board in like this. Just gently push this up here like this. Just make sure you don't like push the blade, that's bad. And then lock down your fence. And for the most part, you should get the same general sizing out of that. You just pull that right out, and there you go. Another thing you want to do is when you're cutting down stock, you always want to kind of get the stock at the same general height as the piece you're going to be cutting. This will keep from potentially losing fingers if you happen to make a mistake. So not everybody can afford a saw stop. Just throwing that out there. Saw stop, would love a saw stop, just saying. All right, moving forward. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and roll this down here until we get down to about the gullets. Sleeves a little bit above the blade, so that way we have a way to get rid of sawdust. And now we're going to cut it down. So we went ahead and cut down our 2 back cleats for the back of the cabinets. So these are ready to go. All we have to do now is just put a 45 on them. So that'll be the part we do next. All right, man, we were just a little off on that one, so that one actually came out pretty good. Just if you do this, just break off the little fibers and you're pretty much good to go. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. This isn't like a fine woodworking project by any means, so that's okay. So there we go. All right, so now we have our backside and we've got the 2 parts for the cabinet. So just need to attach these to the cabinet, this to the wall, pretty much be done. So let's go and get to it. Okay, so before we go to hang this up, we're going to go ahead and pre-drill the holes for the fasteners we're going to be using. We are going into concrete, so concrete obviously requires some of these little guys. If you're interested, I'll put a link down in the description for them to actually go in. And then of course we have some extra long screws for this. The pack comes with 2.5. These are 3-inch, so that way we have enough to go into the wall and also support the board at the same time with a good amount of grip. These will do about 800 pounds on concrete, I think. It's like pretty crazy. We'll never put that much in there. So that's the thing. So anyway, we're going to pre-drill this first here and then put in a little spot for it so that way the screw doesn't stick out. And that'll be pretty much it for this part. So going to do that. So before you get all excited about going and hanging up your shelves and putting your cleats on the wall, you want to first measure and make sure that you've got the right clearance for your shelves. So I already went ahead and measured these. These are 36 inches tall. Yours might be different. So we're just going to go up here and we're going to measure from our highest point. So since we have this conduit on the wall, we're actually going to be measuring from the top of this because the cabinets are going to be going across here. So we're just going to go here. We're actually going to measure it out at about 37, so right around about there. And then we're just going to go ahead and mark. Remember, this doesn't have to be super precise. You just want it to be reasonably precise. And that's pretty much basically all you need to do in order to be able to figure out where you need to land. Then we'll put up our board, level it out, draw a line across, that way we're level when we go to put it on the wall. And that's about it. Okay, time to drill some holes. So if you're doing concrete, you want to make sure you get about a 1/2-inch bit like this one. It will make your day a lot easier. Good to go. All right. So next up, now that we got all that taken care of, is going to be these little guys right here. You're going to go and drop these in. These things are great. They're a little cheat in my opinion. They kind of zip tie into the hole and keep the little retainer in place until you can get the screw in, which basically makes it all metal all the way through, which is huge because we're putting up stuff that's kind of heavy. We definitely do not want it falling off the wall. And that's it. All right. So now we'll take our screws and this little guy, just throw him up here. All right, cool. And you can hang on that. So that's on there good. So that's basically all there is to putting the cleat on the wall. Obviously, if you have, you know, regular walls and not this, then you can just simply use mollies, or more importantly, put it in the stud. That'd actually be the best way to do it. But overall, I mean, if you're putting it in concrete, that's basically how you do it. So not too complicated. We'll go ahead and move on to adding the cleats on the back of the cabinets, and then we'll be ready to go and throw this up here and enjoy our new cabinets. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and drill through here real quick. Just kind of get the cleat ready to rock and roll. So. That's all set. So now we're just going to go ahead and use our clamp over here to go ahead and clamp this down. Just give that, try to get it around center here. Just make sure it's nice and level. That's why you always want to work with square wood, because then you know it's level. And remember, these are shop cabinets, so you can drill through if you want. So now, I'm just going to go ahead and mount our 3 screws in. There we go. And that should be pretty much good to go from there. I mean, I'm going to throw down a little piece down here at the bottom, just to make sure that it's staying flat along the wall. You can do a double French cleat if you want. I'm not doing a double French cleat. I don't think it really needs it. These are extremely strong. What's up there is extremely strong. Not a lot of need for that. But I'm going to throw a little something down here at the bottom just real quick, just so that way it, you know, has a level, and then after that we'll go ahead and mount these up. All right, I hope you enjoyed our video on how to go and make French cleats. As you can see, it's a very functional type of a thing. Makes hanging stuff up on the wall super easy and super level. As you can see, there's no deviation between these two cabinets, which is awesome. And it looks nice. I mean, it looks like you've actually spent some serious time, you know, hanging your cabinets and everything. And the cool thing is, these can be removed whenever you want, and they're super strong. I mean, like, yeah, those aren't going anywhere. So cabinet will probably break before the cleat does. So it does look a little shady when you're first putting them up, but I will tell you what, in the end, they are super strong. So most importantly, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification icon for all of our newest videos, as we definitely have got a lot of new videos coming out. And most importantly, stay safe in the shop.